been really catching it. And what I'm trying to do here, in terms of this method of actually working, what I'm trying to do is get all this information out of your head, out of your computers, out of all your files, get into one place so we can really study it. Because a lot of it is stuck in your head. It's stuck in your head, and we're trying to get it, so we're going to write a book about it. So we have this thing. Then we're going to apply a thing what I call 3D learning. What do I mean by 3D learning? I promise you I haven't a clue where I got this from, but I've used this forever. So once we start to create our chapters and sub-chapters, we apply 3D learning. The first 3D learning is basically discover. So what we're going to do is get all this information, whatever it is, we're going to put it over here. This is discovering. We're going to start to actually formulate our book and create our chapters and sub-chapters. And the interesting point on here is this discover section. I put on here share. What do I mean by share? What I used to love to do, and think of your company you may want to be investing in, and I do this today by, certainly did this with the rugby team. What I used to like to do with the rugby team and the businesses I run today was invite people like you into my world. So what do I mean by people like you? These are friends of mine. They're all people I knew who were very, very successful. There was a couple of hedge fund managers. There was the boss of GSK, the boss of Marks and Spencer's, the top headmistress from a private school. So I used to invite people like that who were friends of mine, but all knew were very successful into my world. But here's the deal. You come and spend 2 or 3 days being a rugby team, sit in the back of the room, just keep out of the way. Don't go gaga when Johnny Wilkinson walks in. Just keep out of the way. But here's the deal. We're going to show you everything. We're going to be totally, utterly transparent. I want to show you everything we do. But by the time you leave here, in a day or 2 days' time, however long it takes, I want at least one thought or one idea of something we can do better. At least one thought. I promise you, over the 8 years of coaching England, culminating in winning the World Cup, over those 8 years, I've invited up in over 50 plus individual people to come and spend 24 hours or 40 hours with me. And I equally promise you, every single one of them left and gave me a bit of paper saying, have you thought about this, have you thought about that? It used to drive me nuts when some flipping hedge fund manager went and played rugby since his prep school under 8s would come up with an idea we'd not thought about. And we're supposed to be this all singing, all dancing, high performing team. How come it's taken a guy who hasn't played rugby for 40 years in his prep school to come up with these ideas? In a true leadership style, you're going to sit down with your team and go, listen, I've had this great idea. That's how it works. So do not underestimate where you can discover from. Now the chances are, I won't get too much involved in you as your coach in the discover section. This could be way over my pay grade. Way over it. Where I do get involved is in the next section, is what I call distill. So once we've got all this information and knowledge, what we're trying to get out of it, what are the key points? Get through all the BS, here's all the discover stuff, what are the key points? And in my coaching language in sport, what makes the boat go faster? These are the actually key learnings we're going to keep studying. And these are our key points. This is where I do get involved, totally. Because you've got to explain it to me in simple English, very plain language. These are the 5 or 6 points. We know if we do these 5 or 6 points really, really well, we'll do this task very well in terms of discover. It's absolutely key. We start to get our key points and checklists, which I'll cover off in a second. So that's discover, that's distill. And the last thing, quite simply, is do. Once we know our key points, I mean really study our key points, how do we do them better than anybody else? How do we really practice them? I call this deliberate practice, because deliberate practice is based on the key points. We know this makes the boat go faster. These are absolutely key things we actually do. So discover, distill, do. That's what I actually look for. So when I'm investing in people, I'm trying to get from them, are they doing something similar around this in terms of their ongoing learning? Are they really bringing in different people from different environments to actually study what they're actually doing, look what they're doing? So quite simply, I call this relentless learning. So when you talk about champion individuals, and the simple words I've used so far, being a student, being teachable, a sponge or a rock, relentless learning is the key characteristic of champion individuals. The moment you start learning, the moment you start the moment you start discovering and putting new thoughts and information into that side of the book, that in my definition, you're drifting to being a rock and not a sponge. So this is all about relentless learning, your ability to actually learn. To just bring this to life, I just used one of the posters. Imagine the 7 posters on the wall over here. This is number 7, which I obviously put on. This isn't leadership full stop, this is leadership during the actual game. So we've really studied this, discover, distill, do. So there was our kind of discover. One of the chapters was leadership. 4 sub-chapters, you see A, B, C, D. The other ones are the key points. Based out of all that stuff, they're the key points. If we got those right and scored very high on them, we would score high on our leadership during the actual game. then do down the bottom, you see I put down there drop goal routine. Now, hopefully most people may have seen there's one drop goal happened a few years ago. As Alice mentioned in 2003. If this drop goal doesn't go over, I'm not beaten to it 20 odd years later. I want you to think about this isn't because it's just sport, or just happens, or Johnny Wilkinson's incredible talent, which he is. There's a whole business process went through in terms of understanding 3D learning, understanding everyone putting information in. So I'm going to show this drop goal, because I actually like to show this drop goal. I've seen this 1 or 2 times. And also gives me time to have a drink. But unless, when you're watching this, I don't watch Johnny Wilkinson, I'm watching the whole team. The whole team's got a role to play in this whole actual process of how it came about. It didn't come about just because it's sport, because sport is different than business. It's a whole business good team. So when I'm investing in the companies you're speaking to, I'm trying to find this information out. What are they doing? How are they doing this? What are they doing? Or are they just thinking they've got some magical idea that's all going to happen? So I'll share this one moment in time while I go a quick drink.
35 seconds to go. This is the one. It's coming back for Johnny Wilkinson. He drops the World Cup glory. It's over. He's done it. Johnny Wilkinson is England's hero yet again. And there's no time for Australia to come back. England have just won the World Cup.
Thank goodness for that. So, and then just for